Hey guys, so today I have rounded up some products that have not worked for me. This is a very subjective topic. So these products did not work for me. I'm merely speaking from my experience. If these products worked for you, awesome. I'm so happy for you, but I just wanted to share with you some not so great experiences with some products that I've tried lately. So I'm going to start with two perfumes, and I'm going to start with one that I returned. So I'm just going to pop a picture up here for you. This is the Jo Malone Aqua Lemon. And I was so excited to get this. I had just ordered from the Sephora VIB sale, the Jo Malone Bitter Mandarin. That's another new one. And I have been loving that. I have been wearing that almost nonstop. And so when I saw this Aqua Lemon from Jo Malone, I was really excited. It had notes that seemed to really agree with me. And when I got it and first sprayed it, and I think I first used it with you guys in like a trying new makeup video, I really enjoyed the top notes, we'll say. It's very citrusy, very bright. And there was this, base note, undernote thing of like a muskiness. And as the day wore on, and actually fairly quickly, you didn't smell any of the citrus anymore. It just smelled very, very masculine. It just smelled like I was wearing aftershave, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't even like that on men so much. I like ones that are just a little bit cleaner smelling. I was a little bit disappointed. I really like citrusy scents, especially for the spring, summertime. And, with a name like Aqua Lemon, I thought it was going to be really light and fresh, citrusy. But yeah, any citrus note that I initially smelled was gone. It was undetectable within a couple of hours. So I returned that, unfortunately. I'm still loving Bitter Mandarin, however. That is such a good one. So anyway, that is my first fail, my first disappointment. My second one is actually one that I've kept because I really wanted to like this. So this is from Frederic Malle. This is Synthetic Jungle. And as you guys know, I love Frederic Malle scents. I have quite a few. I have three that I really enjoy. Portrait of a Lady, Promise, and Rose and Cure, Rose and Leather, essentially. And this one, much like the Aqua Lemon, it just read like something that I was going to really, really enjoy. I think this was described, actually, let me look it up. So this is described as a bright and lush, mysterious and provocative fragrance, and it's an ode to cult perfumes of the 1970s. Synthetic Jungle offers a modern vision of nature reimagined. So the top notes are basil and lily of the valley, both of which I love. Middle notes, jasmine, I also love. Base note, patchouli, which I happen to enjoy as well. For some reason, this just smells so bitter. It doesn't smell like any of the flower of any of those flowers. It smells like the green, like when you tear the leaf off of something, like that really raw, sharp kind of green, like bitter scent. And I remember when I first opened this, and took a whiff, I was like, oh God, why is that so bitter? I sprayed it on myself thinking, I'm sure it's going to smell different on my person. And it really didn't. It's just very, very bitter. Almost so it kind of like gets caught in the back of my throat kind of. And I don't know. I mean, it's like I smell all of those notes that it's describing, but there's something that makes it all really, really bitter. Almost like salad greens that have turned. And it just does not smell good on me. It doesn't smell good to me. And I don't know if maybe this is something that can be mixed with something else. I've, tried a couple of combinations, but, I tend to shy away from that because you're kind of stuck with a perfume like all day, all day. If you put it on, it's like a commitment. So I've kind of like, sprayed it in the air, sprayed another one in the air, tried to like kind of figure out if maybe it would work on me. It kind of takes over too. It's very, very strong. Frederic Malle fragrances are very intense. And yeah, this just, I don't know if any of you guys have played with this, tried this. If you love this, please let me know if you maybe wear it with something else, or if that's just, a fragrance that you like that kind of like raw bitterness. Please let me know because I really want to like this, but I think it's a no-go for me. So that's the Synthetic Jungle from Frederic Malle. All right. My next product, I had really, really high hopes for this. This is another product, much like the Synthetic Jungle. It sounded like something I would really, really enjoy. This is the Hermes Natural Enhancing Complexion Balm, SPF 30 PA 3 pluses. Now, I have it in the shade 20 Sable, and it's not like this is not a good product. It's fine, but that's it. It's okay. It's just, it really is very, very mediocre. I have so many like really creamy foundations. I have a lot of tinted moisturizers. I mean, ones that are really, really beautiful. They really do a lot for my skin. This just didn't really do anything. Like I said, it's fine, but it's so, I don't know, anticlimactic. It's like I put it on and it was like, okay. It really just looked like I had just a little bit of coverage, but it didn't do anything to, I don't know, like I like bases that really, really enhance my complexion. I don't want to just cover things up. I want my skin to look softer. I want a little bit of like light refraction. So my, fine lines look finer, my bigger pores look smaller. I just want like a little more than just coverage. And this felt like just coverage. And what I also didn't like about it is it started off feeling very, creamy. It's supposed to be this balm, right? Natural Enhancing Complexion Balm. And so when I hear the word balm, I think it's going to be really almost slick. Like it's going to be something very, very moisturizing, something very, very nourishing. This actually, I felt like over the course of the day, just kind of got a little stiffer and a little drier on my skin. So it just didn't work out for me. And again, this is just my experience. It just didn't work out for me. And like I keep saying, it's not like it's a terrible product. There's just nothing special about it. And I really expect something a little bit more from Hermes, and it just did not deliver. So I was definitely disappointed in this. And this is something that like I tried out for you guys. I probably put on 2 more times after, so maybe 3 times altogether. And I've put it in my foundation drawer and I haven't even thought about it since. In fact, I kind of forgot about it. When I was coming up with this video, I was going through my older videos and I was like, oh my God, that Hermes foundation. I was like, yeah, that was kind of like a letdown, like a wah, 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 just not good. So that is the Hermes Complexion Balm. We're gonna stick with Hermes here. This is the powder that they released at the same time as that complexion balm. Now, again, this is not a terrible product. It's okay. It did nothing for my skin. All it did was kind of mattify it a little bit. And I'll put it over, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. Yeah, all it did was just kind of mattify my skin. Did it do any blurring? Like maybe a little bit, but again, it's like I have so many other powders that make my skin look almost otherworldly. And this, I feel like, is a very poor substitute for the NARS Light Reflecting Setting Powder. It looks very similar. It's white in the pan, but that powder, because it feels like it's so hard pressed in the pan, it has this fineness to it. And when you put it on your skin, it really looks like a veil. This is just like a pressed powder. And you can very easily kind of pick up too much of it. There is definitely like a white cast to it. I just feel like there's something very unrefined about this powder. It just is like, bleh, like it's just powder. So again, it's not a terrible product. It does mattify. It's fine. But I really had my hopes up because it's Hermes and I thought it was going to be something, really special. It wasn't. I guess I have the same opinion of both of these things, that they're just very, very mediocre and very ordinary. So these were both disappointments for me. Okay, the next product is one that I really, really wanted to like. I ordered a whole bunch. They sent me some in PR. This is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. And you guys know, I love a cream blush. I love a liquid blush. I love blushes. I love blushes in general. It doesn't matter what form they come in. But this moisturizer blush, it just, I don't know. Well, one, it sets down very, very quickly. So I don't find it the easiest to use. You have to do kind of like one cheek at a time. Let me just squeeze out a little bit of this. So I just pulled out one shade, but I actually have a whole bunch. This is Provence. And well, I squeezed out quite a bit. But anyway, it just, yeah, it sets down a little bit too quickly. And then I don't know if you can see that, I find that it's hard for me to kind of even it out before it sets down. So then I feel like I'm kind of like layering in pieces to try and like fill in the patchy parts. And then once it does set down, once I've gotten past all that or whatever, and it has set down on my face, there's just nothing, I don't know, it's a very kind of like matte blush. And when I, first got this and the name of it is Tinted Moisturizer Blush, I thought there would be some glow to it. I thought that there would be not necessarily like a satin or a metallic finish, but just, I don't know, something that made it look juicy. Like this is, here it's setting down, this is like the antithesis of juicy. It's a very kind of clay-like finish, just a kind of dry finish. I have very, very dry skin, so maybe it looks drier on my skin than if you have oilier skin, but it really just didn't do anything for my cheek area. It just looked like I put like a really, I don't know, just a really dry looking blush on my cheeks. It just didn't do anything for my complexion. I did try a few of the shades and they just didn't work out for me. Just not my favorite. And I have so many cream and liquid blushes that are so, so beautiful, that work really, really beautifully, that, yeah, this is another product I kind of tucked away after playing around with them, and I haven't really thought about them since. So not a big fan of these. Okay, and since we're talking about blushes, I thought I would mention this Blushing Delights from Pat McGrath. Now, you guys know I love Pat McGrath, but this was not good. I don't really like these blushes at all. There was something about them, and I feel this way about her blushes in a pan, even though the formula is completely different. These are baked and those are pressed. But there's something, I find them very hard to blend out, and they do eventually blend out, but they're not like this dreamy kind of cloud and like cotton candy whisper of blush on my cheeks. I really feel like I have to go in and like make them work. The shades are really beautiful. They are, they have this gorgeous sheen to them, but I just don't find them that easy to work with. I don't even know if I can demonstrate like how they don't really blend out. Like usually with the blush, after doing this, I feel like, you just see this kind of like puff of them, but yeah, it just doesn't, you see how it just kind of becomes like uneven? I mean, I know this is a terrible demonstration because I'm just doing it on the back of my hand with the finger, but it kind of behaves the same way on my cheeks. It's like I'll use my brush, I'll start to like lay it down, and I'll find that I'm having a hard time blending it out, and then some areas will blend out better than others. So then it starts to look a little bit patchy, and then I feel like I have to go over that area even more, and then it starts to like even out. So it does eventually, I think, look okay, but I feel like I really have to work for it. And again, I have a ton of blushes that I don't feel like I need to put in that much work for them to look really blown out and whisper soft and cloud-like on my cheeks. These take a lot of work for me. So that was one disappointment. And also, and I know this is really petty, but I don't like this packaging. I really, really don't. It's just like paper. It's very, very cheap looking and cheap feeling. And I don't know if you can see around the heart. Like you can see how it's like cut out around there. I don't know. I feel like they could have done a little bit more, or even a little bit less. Like it didn't need to be this whole big round thing. Like I didn't mind the first Bridgerton collaboration where it was just like in a little palette. Like that would have been fine. This is just really, it's bulky. I don't even know where, it's just been sitting out on top of my drawers. I don't even know where I'm gonna put it. And just for like 3 blushes and 1 highlight, I feel like this is a bit too much. So yeah, kind of a disappointment all around. I was really, really excited for this collection. And I do love the rest of the products that I got, the lip product, the eyeshadow palette, but just not the biggest fan of this Blushing Delights. So kind of a fail for me, a little bit of a disappointment. Okay, last but not least, we've got a Charlotte Tilbury quad, and this is the Pillow Talk Dreams, and I'm giggling because when I tried this out for you guys, I was just surprised at how different the colors looked in the pan versus on my eyes. And I tend to have this issue with Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows. Again, it's me, it's my experience. I definitely got comments, especially on this shade down here, that they were surprised, these viewers were surprised at how warm and like coppery they looked on my lids. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's just my body chemistry. I'm not sure what happens between here and here. But yeah, this is not the first time this has happened to me with Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, but I'm just gonna do a swatch. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the difference here. But here is this beautiful shimmery shade down here. To my eye, it looks kind of like this light pink with just the slightest hint of like a purple almost. Like some of the glitters in there have like a cool tone to them. But then this is what it looks like on my lid. It just looks copper. And I feel like that looks very different from what I see in the pan. I just see something a little bit more neutral and yeah, and just cooler toned, a little bit cooler than this at least. Yeah, I just was really surprised. I think the same thing happened. Is it this one? Yeah, this happened a little bit. So then this top one, I thought, oh, this is gonna be a great like champagne shade, just like, brow bone highlight, inner corner, that situation. And you can see that there's a champagne-ness, but do you see the undertone? Again, I get this like copper undertone. So I remember when I put it in here, it wasn't that brightening. And I thought, what is going on? Like everything looks so much warmer swatched than it does in the pan. Let me do another swatch here. I think the matte shades were fine. I think it was more the shimmery shades. So that's the top lighter matte shade. I think that one looks okay as a comparison. But yeah, everything just ended up being warmer on my eyes than they looked in the pan. And I was really excited for this quad because, a lot of Charlotte Tilbury quads are on the warmer side. They have this like coppery, orange kind of like tone to them, bronzy tone to them. And so I thought this was going to be a little bit more neutral. I thought there was going to be a little bit more of like a pink undertone. But no, I kind of ended up with like the same warm, coppery situation. So for me, it was a little bit of a disappointment. The shadows themselves are beautiful. They behave beautifully. They perform beautifully. I liked using the palette. The colors just weren't what I expected. All right, so those are all of my recent disappointments. Just a quick note about the makeup that I'm wearing. If you caught my video yesterday where I was trying new makeup, I was playing around with the new Pkwy Skincare, the Impossible Glow bronzer. And I was using it alone and kind of trying to put it in my bronzer area. And I thought, you know what, this is probably a product better suited to like add into a moisturizer to use as a base or to help you glow all over. And so that's what I did today. I added it into this Embryolisse moisturizer that I just picked up. This is for sensitive skin. And yeah, I just squeezed out a bit of this. I just, dropped one drop of this in there. And I really, really like it. I like it so much better this way than used just sort of like to spot bronze. It just didn't work well. Not for me. It didn't work well that way. So I just wanted to mention that. But all the details of what I'm wearing will be down below in my description box. It's pretty much a replay of yesterday's trying new makeup because I'm still trying all the stuff and making sure that I really enjoy what I enjoyed and, playing around with the things that I was, questioning. So anyway, that's all down below in my description box. But let me know down below in the comments section what some of your experiences are with the products that I talked about. Let me know what some of your fails have been over the past few months. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you in my next video.